I've heard that there is a destiny waiting for all of us. But for me, it had already chosen me even before I could learn the spelling of it. Yes, at the age of just 5.5, I was put in front of a table which looked something similar to a dining table with a ball so small and a racket to which I had to give a shake hand. Yes, that's how we hold it. And if any of you have guessed it right, yes, I was talking about table tennis. Back when my father put me into the sport, just because he couldn't see me getting fat anymore, and also because my father knew the value that sports could bring into my life. I never knew that 15 years down the line, I would be in front of you all talking about the sport, which took me around 8 countries of the world and also made me the only girl from Kerala to be part of the Asian team, and many more. Back then, I only knew that I was playing the sport because I was not allowed to quit, or rather, my father did not give me an option to quit. He always wanted me to continue the sport, how much ever tough it got. And it was my coach who found that I had a talent in the sport and inspired me to work hard. I was unaware of why I had to sacrifice all the fun which I could have just like my friends at school, but rather get up early in the morning and sleep late at night and engage myself in practice sessions before and after my school hours with no other entertainment in life. And soon, after all that sweat and slog, I was introduced to tournaments, the place I believed that all my hard work is going to be requited. And guess what? At least as not expected by me, I lost. But one thing I did was to catch the attention of the entire crowd by crying out so loud after every shot I missed and every point I lost. Because losing, for me, was something equal to like the end of the world. But soon after all those confusion and chaos, I went on to become the under 10 state champion by the end of that year. And I was at cloud 9, happily holding a trophy bigger than me, and I thought I had conquered the world at the age of 10. But then there was my coach beside me saying that it was all just a beginning. And I learned the first biggest lesson of my life, that is to dream big. So now when I look back, I believe that every talent in every person needs a mentor who believes and nurtures it. And nothing is going to be easy in the beginning. Winston Churchill once said that success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And that's exactly what my coach and father did to me. They never let the enthusiasm fade away from me. And gradually, I started loving the sport, and it became a part of my life. I saw myself turning from a touch-me-not to a brave heart. I learned to dream big and not give up easily. I became a quick learner, making it easy for me to score more than 90% of marks with little less time to spare for my studies, because I always valued time, and I knew that I had less time for other things in life. And most importantly, I became a healthier and happier person. I understood that no victory puts you on top of the world, and no failure goes on forever. And every new day is a new opportunity for you to start afresh. And I believe that every person should make sports part of your life, to see these valuable qualities becoming a companion of your life, and not only to win medals and trophies. And I'm sure every sports person lives in this amazing world, which you get to know only if you become one among us. And also, it is not that I didn't face failures after that first victory in my life. There were situations when I thought I was not rewarded with what I deserved. And this takes me back to an incident where I lost miserably in the semifinals of a national championship after putting my heart and soul to win the championship. So I started complaining to my parents. And then my mother said one thing, that bigger things are always coming your way and your hard work will always be rewarded. And I did not believe her. But soon, the same year, I went on to get a career best ranking of 69 in the world, and soon came the happy news that I was the only Indian girl to be part of the Asian team, and I was among the best players of the world with a gold medal around my neck. Yes, the Asian team was the under 15 world champions. And then I believed my mother, and I figured out that no hard work of yours goes in vain. Maybe you're not rewarded it today, but sometime in the future for sure. And this is only one of the many incidents which I came across where I saw bigger things falling into place when I had to try and fail at times. And also, failure kept coming back to me as soon as I tasted victories. After 2012, I had 3 years seeing me nowhere in the ranking list. I used to travel all over India for tournaments and return home empty-handed after losing the first or second round. And crying became a habit of mine as things were not going right. And it was my brother who motivated me constantly. And with his constant motivation and clinging on hard to what my mother once said, and my father still not allowing me to quit, I continue to work hard. Because it is said that we can try and fail, but we should never fail to try. So, and also, in this course, there was a period where I even didn't know whom I should trust and rely on other than my family, because I even saw people who I believed to be my greatest supporters turn against me. There were people criticizing on my failures and saying that I cannot achieve any longer in the sport. But then, the destiny which had already chosen me at the age of 5.5 had turned into my passion, without which I couldn't picturize my life ahead. So instead of weeping on my failures and criticisms, I started to enjoy every moment of being in the sport, to admire every stroke I played, and to appreciate every extra effort I put in. So I found life and happiness in the everyday process, and I did not worry about the end result. Yes, and this is my story, which I believe is only one among the many stories of every sports person who enjoy the sport and refuse to give up. So always listen to your mentors. And I will conclude with one last incident which happened to me recently. Last November, I was playing in the state championship finals, and I was just close to my victory of winning the state championship. Like I was 3-0 leading and 10-8 leading, and it was only 1 point and I am the state champion. Then there was my coach telling to take a timeout. A timeout is a break which you get to take in a whole match. You get only once. So I was thinking like I was going to win, so why do I need this timeout? I did not take. I lost that game, but eventually I won that match, so I did not bother about that mistake I did. And I was all excited for receiving my trophy from the legend, Sharad Kamal. I don't know how many of you sitting here will know Sharad Kamal, but you all might know Sachin Tendulkar, right? He's the legend of cricket. And Sharad Kamal is the legend of table tennis. Now I feel honored that I was able to introduce to many of you Sharad Kamal. So, coming back to my story, I was really excited to take the trophy from him. And while I was receiving the trophy, he told me that your coach had told you to take a timeout, but you didn't take. Then I was like, yeah. Then he told me one big lesson, that always listen to your coach. Because he is there to tell you what you cannot think at that point of time. Because we may not be able to take decisions at that time, and your coach knows better. And if the legend says that he listens to the coach, why can't I? And that is one big lesson I learned in life. So before I conclude, I would like to express tons of gratitude to my Appa, who gets the happiest in every little achievement of mine, and who would proudly announce to the world that I am his daughter. And to my Amma, who burdened me to by heart essays for elocutions as a kid, and also to that friend of mine who said that speaking is no big deal, that competing in the sport at my level. All of which gave me the confidence to speak my idea to the world today. And now I have the realization that there exists no speaker without good listeners. You have been such a beautiful crowd. Thank you.